that, man. What did you make of the Brentford game?
Walk in the park, stroll in the park.
Lovely,
But
lovely. Think
it,
about the boys and that.
yeah. But look, it was nice. It was a good game, and I was surprised by the control we had because Brentford are a good team, and I
Trust.
think it just goes to show that in transition now we've got players that can deal with counter attacks, and the key part is Partey again. Compared to United where they killed us in transition. In this game here, we shut them down, and I think we limited Brentford to the least amount of shots they've had in any game since coming up. So that's a massive
They
stat,
haven't
and
held a
Brentford
3
are,
0 like that since the last
yeah,
time
they
they've been
haven't
in the
held that,
championship.
and you look at how they played against City at home, Chelsea and Arsenal last season. Everyone they've played at home, the big teams, they've caused issues. Whereas in that game, I can't think of any moments where they were really under Arsenal. They didn't sustain any pressure, and Arsenal's high line is now, proving how good it is. The fact that we've got the second highest in the league now, with Saliba obviously with a recovery pace, who is a fantastic player. I mean, he's sublime. But more in the sense of we're able to trap teams in now. We can pin teams in. We can
Mm.
compress the pitch, and that's a sign of a top team. When you're comfortable with playing a high line and it's working out, Arsenal are going to keep
Away
winning
from
the
home
ball
as well.
back, sustaining pressure. And compared to last year, Arsenal are far better at that. Last year we see it in spurts. This season we see it over a 90-minute
Become a
game. And
norm as it should be,
there you
sort
go.
of thing.
And now I think it'll get to the stage where Arsenal will become so good, it might become boring. You look at Man City, for example. I
Boring,
don't
boring
enjoy watching
Arsenal,
them
bring it
play.
back, man.
Yeah, I don't watch Man City play, for example. But they're winning games. But they make games so boring. And I think right now fans are surprised about Arsenal doing it. We saw the game against Brentford. I think for the first minute, we killed the game. The first minute, you killed the crowd.
Martinelli
You
bags
go,
is an even different story as well
exactly.
earlier.
But you go and make that chance. You kind of play with the Brentford press. You bring them out. You go, come on to us. You play
Set up
about
shop.
them like they're nothing. And then what you do with that, you kill the away crowd. They're a bit like, okay, well, these guys are serious, right? In the first minute. Man City do that every game. So for Arsenal right now, it's a bit of a new thing. So fans are like kind of like, oh, this is amazing. But give it, I'd say, a season or so about this, and fans will get used to it. It'll be the norm. It'll be the standard, and fans will kind of get not Arsenal fans, but rival fans will get bored of Arsenal because we'll be so good. Hopefully, at least.
Hopefully we get there and there's no more, social engagements of us losing. Gunner Down Under, thank you very much for your super chat, my bro. I've just seen this. Big up, Babs, my man, and Deluded. I believe football wouldn't be what it is today without banter. Whoever gets the last result gets the last laugh. Simple. Gab is a boss. We've lacked the ballsy attitude like that for years when we get results gained. And love for the super chat once again and your support, on behalf of ourselves. Where you at with Saliba and Gabriel, man? Because Saliba's, from the goals he scored, the game against Zaha, he's gonna have tough moments, but he looks like he's really got it to be a real good player. You almost forget he's 2021, and that's the scary thing, really. It's a lovely signing. I guess Mikel Arteta does, even though he's not his player. I guess he does know what he's doing with his development. Fans were onto him about loaning him out and that. Where you at with Saliba, man? Because he is like a new signing to coin the phrase from Wenger.
Joke. He's a joke, man. He feels like a £70 million centre back, and he's putting to shame some of the new signings that
100
we've seen
million,
come
fuck it,
in.
man.
You compare, I'm not even going to disagree, but you compare him to like Koulibaly, who's coming, and you see how Saliba's adapted
Who's
straight
that?
away. Compare
Oh, the
Koulibaly.
guy at Chelsea. Didn't know
Yeah, I
him.
mean, look at how he's playing compared to Saliba. This is an experienced defender, who's played at high levels compared to Saliba, who's playing his first ever year in the Premier League, who's still 21, who's had before Marseille. People forget he hadn't played a single full season at all in his career.
He's had
And now
mad
he's
injuries and
this
then
exactly
yeah.
his second one now, and look at him now. He's looking like a sublime player. And now only he's looking like he's going to start for France at the World Cup. Listen to Thomas Frank after the game and the way he describes him.
He went all
People
in it.
were, I mean, they were like oof, and that
Yeah,
oof just goes to show what Saliba is. He's got that vavavoom, man. He's got that something special, man. He's got
I
that
said
he's got that
Vavavoom.
sauce. But look, he's got the aura. That's what people love to say. He's got that not Van Dijk aura, but he might do one day. And he's doing it at 21, which that's the scariest part. And the fact that I think he said yesterday, he's happy at Arsenal. He loves life at Arsenal,
Get that
loving
new
life
deal,
in
man.
London. That new deal's coming. That's only a matter of time. And when we get Saliba too, it's going to be even more scary, but not for us.
What do you make of his centre half partner Gabriel? Because I think people have been onto him. I think Fulham he had a brave mistake. I think United, I do think I don't know why he's sliding for the build up to whatever goal it was, but I do kind of blame the United game for players playing poor. A bit more on Arteta. I think we was a bit naive. I think our centre
Yep.
backs and our full backs were too wide. Midfield was everywhere. But I do think where Gabriel and Saka are concerned, people are kind of forcing it. And I think Gabriel's been good. Gabriel he don't look quite sexy as Saliba on the ball and things like that, pause. But I think a lot of his defending is understated and underrated, and I think he's having a real good season. Where you at with Gabriel? Of course, he's got the bozo gene still in him, and he needs to iron that out. And I'm a bit kind of more critical on him because I think it should kind of be phased out a bit more than it is now. But where you at for Gabriel?
I think the level of Saliba and the high quality he's playing at has kind of made Gabriel look worse than he actually is. I think that's what fans, they've got this high standard right side of centre back now, and you're seeing him do everything. Saliba's doing everything in terms of passing and defending. With Gabriel, he does it for, I say, 80% of the time. But because he has that 20% in him where he maybe slacks off or loses concentration, that's where Saliba kind of, not shames Gabriel, but he kind of puts stuff into perspective. But I still think, Gabriel's been very solid. And I think what he's done so well in certain games is he's breaking lines now. He's being very aggressive with his passing, and it doesn't always work out. But for example, the game against Brentford in that first minute, that attack we generated in the first minute, that comes from Gabriel and him being aggressive. Yeah. And so those line-breaking passes are being a bit underrated. And I think also Gabriel rises to the occasion. So hopefully this next game against Spurs, up against Harry Kane and Son Kulusevski, whoever starts for them, he turns up again. But I think he's a bit underrated, I won't lie. But at the same time, I understand why fans look at him, compare him to Saliba, and you can naturally see who's the better player.
I agree with you, and I would say in Gabriel's defense and Saliba, not that I want to catch anyone out. I mean, it's a marathon, not a sprint. I don't think Saliba's had a terrible game. I know he's got an own goal, but them terrible games make you, and they will happen. So I think fans need to keep perspective because fans always do this. I know he's technically not playing centre half, but we can't talk about Saliba and Gabriel and not shine some light on Ben White. He's been bloody fantastic at right back. The only one who disagrees is Gareth Southgate for whatever reason. You tell me. I don't know where you at with Ben White, because for me, I think it's amazing when, in previous years, we've had players that might be wingers, barely able to play on the wing. We put them up front. When you've got players that can actually play in one position and actually have the intelligence to be versatile, I'm all for it. Fabio Vieira, Zinchenko, and obviously the man with Ben White, who's excelling at right back, man.
Yeah, he definitely is. And I think what you see straight away is Ben White's biggest strength. He learns on the job, and he does it so well. I think they said it in the documentary. And you look at with Ben White, his technical ability is going through the roof now, and he's getting there in the sense of a proper inverted right back, and it looks like the perfect role, because at centre back he's a good centre back, he's a very good centre back, but I don't think he's Saliba level, right? But as an inverted right back, because he can go forwards, he's very comfortable dribbling wise as well, and he's very good at passing. It looks like Mikel Arteta has found his position, which I think going into the future that should be his role. But that being said, you got Tomiyasu. And the fact that you
at with Tomiyasu as well, man. Sorry to cut you because I was
that's squad depth, man. Squad depth again. You look at the fact that Tomiyasu's not even a starter, and Yasu is my guy. But you look at him, and the fact that he's not started a single league game so far this season, and Arsenal look comfy. It just shows we've got squad depth, and I think sometimes fans overstate how thin the Arsenal squad is, because we've got squad depth in most positions. It's just a few positions that Arsenal fans see stand out. But right back there, I think Ben White, what he's showing me the most is his ability to learn and really adapt straight away. And I think that's his most underrated trait. And because he doesn't have a standout trait in the sense of he's a good passer, but he's not amazing, or not amazing to the eye at least. That's why I think fans they underrate him a bit. And Southgate, for example, I mean, he's a stinker. Eric Dyer and
to be fair, Dyer's been okay for Spurs, but Connor Cody and Harry Maguire, that's not necessarily form. I think that's how because they're characters and things, and he's playing the game a bit, which I don't understand. I mean, like we've been saying, he plays right back. Southgate loves a fullback. Don't know what's going on there. But
that's also another important part with Ben White and Tomiyasu and so many Arsenal players. The way that Arteta's designing his squad is they're so versatile. So you kind of have squad depth in different areas. So
you said it earlier, Tomiyasu's and Eddie as well.
There you got Tomiyasu's a right back, but he can play centre back. And when Gabriel got injured,
left back as well.
I mean, so he can play left back. This is what Arsenal are creating as a squad full of Swiss Army knives, where you can just play them anywhere, and it gives us almost this added squad depth of quality.
I'm with you with that. Where you at with Smith Rowe? Because listen, I think form is temporary, class is permanent. Obviously, he needs a bit of luck to stay fit and things. Feel a bit sorry for him. His injuries have probably cost him off the back of last season as well, and missed pre-season. He's definitely not going to make the England squad, we hope. But if we had to put money down, it's a bit of a myth. I can't wait till he's fit. And Arteta's been saying the same. 10 left wing, when fit, he can get in our lineup. Where you at with Smith Rowe? Because I would say that's the one sort of stain on this season, is that my man hasn't been able to be there for a significant part.
He'll come good. He's still 21, and injuries are an issue. but I think he'll come past that. It's just he's going through a spell right now, a bit of a phase. But once he comes out of this phase, he'll come stronger, he'll be better, he'll be even stronger mentally. And I think what Arsenal have then is the fact that our top goal scorer for the first half of last season and our top goal scorer in terms of non-penalty goals